Hello everyone, and this is Becky here at Beck's Creations, and this is an impromptu live, and I'm hoping somebody will pop in and let me know if I have sound or not. I guess I could open it on my phone and see how annoying it could be. I'm having issues with the sound. Somebody just popped in. Do I have sound? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Let's see. I'm just going to look and see if I have. Yes, I do. Hi, Giovanna. How are you? And Safia. I'll turn this off now that I see somebody. But that's great. Hi, Teresa. I pulled my prompt box out, which is just one of these pretty boxes you get at any of the craft stores here that you can get a pretty box. This was marked down at Joann's last fall, and I got it for just a couple bucks. I think it was last fall. But inside it is all of my little prompt cards that I've made. So do we want to do these? Do we want to do the little square ones? Do we want to do Dirty Dozen prompts that are in this box? I've got elongated ones. This is the last batch I made here with our little squarey bits. So there's that deck. And then I have, there's two decks here. There's a deck. And then there's the cat deck. And then there's the deck that we made years ago in a contest I ran where you send in prompts and somebody won a whole deck of cards. And then this was another deck. And then the Dirty Dozen deck, which I keep in this old candy box. So that's awesome. Let's use the Dirty Dozen deck. I think we used the cat deck the last time we got together. So I'm going to just put these in here, and I'll have to take them back out just so I can put the Dirty Dozen box back in here. But for right now, these all fit in this box, and I have multiple decks of cards. So it'll be very random what we get. I finished the quilt top, and my fellas are both working on their individual cars. So I said, I'll just do an impromptu and see if anybody wants to play along with a Dirty Dozen game, or if they just want to write the prompts down for later. I'm going to put this on airplane mode so nobody can call me in the middle of this. I always mean to do this beforehand. It's on airplane mode. All right. Oh, you just have one small bucket of sticks? Yeah, I've got a bunch of different ones because I get in this mood to make prompts, and we'll do it. We'll do a game together, and I'll chop it up and turn it in. I think Mary did postcards last night on her stream, and I thought, well, I'll do some postcards today, and then I'll send one to Mary, and maybe she'll send me one of hers. So we'll see, and then I can just send the others off. So I'll just shake them up. I think we made these cards a couple different times because there's very definite, difference in the background, but it doesn't matter. So we're going to do however many we want to. But yeah, I finished the quilt. I don't know if everybody has seen it or not. And I've put it up for right now. I've got to go through my stash and see if I've got any fabric that's big enough to make a back for it. And I don't know if I have cotton batting. So it all might get put on hold. I just got a kind of a wild hair to do a baby quilt to have on hand because I know my niece is trying for her second child. So there's that. So let's play. First prompt says black. All right. First prompt is black. So I'm going to just cover the thing in black and see what happens. I've got everything kind of moved around here. And it can be black in anything. It doesn't have to be paint. It can be any kind of black that you have laying around. You could use strips of black paper. You could, you know, anything. I'm just going to see if I can. I've moved everything a little bit in here. So everything's kind of in a different place. So it's going to take me a little bit. And I see the cats have gotten one of my clips down. That doesn't surprise me. And this black paint has lots of goobers in it. So I got my wet ones in case I need to clean this up. Thank you. And I'll just put, you know, like I said, this paint's about shot. And when I was doing my cleanup, I checked on my big bucket of gesso and it's gone bad. So don't leave your supplies too long or they will go bad. It's turned brown and it stinks. I mean, it's really stinky. So I'm like, ugh, that's like $40 worth of gesso down the hole. And I need to put it someplace so it can completely dry, because they won't take it in the trash, you know, if it's liquid at all. So I've got this old recycling bin that we don't use anymore. I thought I could put it over top of it outside, and in no time the sun would, you know, dry it out for me. Never be afraid of black being the first prompt, because, you know, that's probably the best time to have that as a prompt, because you're going to bury it. Even after I closed that bucket back up and I set it next to the trash can till I got a chance to deal with it in the kitchen, the cats would walk by that bucket and their ears would go flat and they'd just look at me like, what have you brought into the house? All right, so black was number 1. I've got a piece of paper right here. I can write these down and I can put them in the description box for later. So black was number 1. Number 2 is add glitter. Add glitter. Add glitter. So whatever you have in glitter, I've got some that, this is faded jeans. You know what I've got here? I've got this stuff, and you can see it's separated and all, and I've been going to do this anyway. Listen to me, can't talk. I'm going to open it with a box cutter and just use what I can and throw the rest away. I said I was going to use a box cutter. Oh, there it is. All right. Because I don't know if this is any good or not. And I've had it for a long time. And I think Anne has some of this too, and it's gone kind of funky. But I was getting bored. Hi, Kendra. I am so glad you are enjoying the basket. Let me see if I cut it this way. Well, it doesn't look like it's too bad, but too bad, it's going away. Sometimes I just get to a point where I just want it used and gone. And since it's all separated and won't mix, let's see if I can stir it up. I don't know if I have another thing I could put it in. Now listen to me. I'm trying to save it in my brain. I'll just use this stick and kind of scrape it out of here. And I don't usually go live on the weekends, so. Yep, a sheet of black paper or just putting down black gesso or whatever is a good place to start. Probably gluing down cat hair with this too. That's an added art tool. It's free. Doesn't cost me anything except cat food. Let's see if I can turn this. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but this is going to be out of my stash, out of my space, out of my room. Yeah, we're just going to let the rest of this go to Never Never Land. I'll wipe that off. I'll be right back. Please don't jump up because you'll be in glitter glue, silly boy. For femra. Oh, I forgot I've got a spring on here that I coiled around. Well, it's now glued to this stick, I'm sure. All right, I'll clean my little box cutter off. All right, next prompt 3 is going to be modeling paste. Well, this is going to be very tactile. Modeling paste. Let me think where I put that. Modeling paste. And then I need a palette knife. And I think I'm just going to scrape some on. I'm not going to put it through a stencil or anything because the glitter glue's on there and it's already kind of wet. So I'll just put some of this and just gently scrape it down the sheet. Sometimes just little strips of this looks kind of cool when you get done. I haven't decided which way I'll cut the postcards, so all right, there's modeling paste. And I don't spend a lot of time on each prompt. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Janice. We got Janice and Janet. Janet Ka, C-A. All right. So now I'm going to move right on. Do prompts with me and they're fast. You might have to slow down at some point and dry, but we'll see what happens here. Next one. Add texture. Wow, we've got modeling paste and add texture. I do have some fiber paste, which is really cool. And I think it's in the same place. I have glass bead gel. Here's the fiber paste. I got this on clearance at Michael's. It was normally $17. I got it for $6.99. This has little strands of fiber in it. So when you scrape it, it makes like almost a waterfall effect. So I'm going to turn this and scrape this the other way. All right, so there's the fiber paste. Wipe that off. Oh, that's true. Scribbling in the modeling paste would give you texture as well. Mine's going to be very texturally. All right, so I did that. These will be some very interesting postcards. We better get some color on here. Let's see. Add circles. Number 5 is add circles. Add circles. Okay, well, I'll go to my bucket of stuff and get something to make circles with. And it doesn't say what color to use, so I'm just going to randomly grab something and use it. I have light blue. I'm going to move these up here a little bit so you guys can see what the prompt is. I'm going to put a little paint out. This is Liquitex Basic Paint, and I'm going to use a makeup sponge and just kind of put it on the edge of my lid, I think from either mustard or peanut butter. That didn't take long. Put out some more. Yesterday I had a very nice lunch with my youngest sister. She teaches at USC, and I'm not very far from the University of South Carolina. So I told her, I said, we can meet for lunch, whenever you have time at lunchtime. Just have to let me know because it won't take anything for me to drive for lunch. I know her schedule is very busy, and she's got some major projects going on. She got talked into a kind of a more detailed than was let on in the beginning project, and now the report to the dean is due in less than 2 weeks, and yeah. She said, I was paid for it, but not enough. That's how it happens sometimes. All right. All right, I've got circles. I need to drop this in some water, and I didn't get any water. So I need my purple container that I can put water in. And I'm not going to bother with cleaning the lid. I'll just throw it back in my container, and then that'll be a happy extra bonus the next time I use it when the blue paint flicks off. Oh, let's see. All right, so we've added some circles. Trying to get some of this off before I touch my cards. All right, next, doodle. Now I'm going to have to dry. So, heat gun alert. Because it's very wet. I could always save the doodle for later. I might do that. I'm going to save doodle for later. So I'll write down prompt 6 is doodle. And then I'll save that till the end. And then the next prompt will be add spirals. Add spirals. And I happen to have a spiral stencil. And I'll use that. But I'm going to dry this some because it's getting really wet. Let's dry from the back a little bit. I think I might make these into artist trading cards instead because I owe Esther and Shannon both some ATCs. So I made up these prompts. I do have a list of prompts in my group, but I've put the group on read only until after summer because I'm going to be doing more gardening here soon. And I didn't want to manage the group during that part of the year. So I froze it. But I know Janet Nash has a list of prompts on her community tab, if I remember right. And I've saved my small stencils in these brag books that you get at the dollar store. And I know I have a spiral in here in one of these little books. There it is. And I'm going to use red. Red paint. Or primary red. Because I can and I want to. You're welcome, Julie. Hi, Julie. This is a spiral, but it's done in circles. And I swear this red always looks pink to me, but oh well. Yeah, I think I will. I'm going to chop this up into ATCs instead of postcards. You know, you get a different effect from pouncing and just rubbing on a stencil too. So I think I'm just going to use the rest of the paint that's in my stencil and just kind of rub it on. Sorry if I'm bouncing, you guys. I'm on the end of the table that's not supported very well. Scott was going to make me some legs for this end, but he hasn't had time. Maybe put a little one on the bottom here. Squish all that paint out so we're not wasting any of our 99-cent paint. Whatever it is we've spent on it. All right. There's our spirals. Hi, Nashwa. Hi, Brenda. Yes, I'm going to put them in the description box, Safia. Next, 8 is sprays. Now, that's going to be a problem for me because I threw away all my sprays because they were all clogged and I was sick of dealing with them. So sprays is the next prompt, but I'm going to give an alternate. And I'm probably going to throw this one in the trash because I don't have sprays anymore. So the alternate to sprays is add lines. Add lines. Hi, Barbara. Yeah, the bathroom's on hold for the weekend. Scott's trying to track down an oil leak in our Lucerne. It's leaked a little bit of oil, but it's been getting worse with him driving the car every day to work, which he drives for about 40 minutes to get to work and then back home. So I told him, I said, the cars have to be dealt with, and Greg's car's got to be able to start so that we can move it and turn it and prove that it's a running vehicle and not just an abandoned vehicle in the yard, because a nosy neighbor turned us in for having a junk car, or so they claim. I am going to add lines with purple. We really need to live on like 5 acres out or more out in the middle of nowhere where we can do whatever we want and it can be nobody's darn business. Anyway. The thing about it is he pays taxes and insurance and all of that. So it's technically legal. I would never live anywhere with a home owners association, HOA. No, no, no. They get hung up on things like clotheslines and having a garden and that kind of stuff. That just doesn't work for me. You can't have a vegetable garden in your front yard. Who says? We do. You paid us to tell you what to do. No thanks. Not for me. And this neighborhood used to not be like that, but we got a new neighborhood next to us, and I think they have an HOA, and so it's getting all the snooties up in an uproar over here. Sorry if you like HOAs. I'm just giving my opinion on them. I don't like them. Can you tell? But not all of us are the same. Isn't that nice? I'd be more concerned with the kitten factory next door, but just saying. I swear I see more kittens peeking out the windows, and I like to watch my birds too much. I probably won't turn them in because I don't want to be having the city in my business either. But they should spay and neuter. Just saying. Sophia had to go. Barbara's here. Yeah, I wasn't really planning to do a live, but then I was bored. So here I am. Janice, we don't have inspection in South Carolina. It has a current tag, and we've paid the taxes on it, and he carries insurance on it. Oh, see, Brenda, I can't do that. That's just not me. When we retire, we want to move someplace out of a larger city. I'm done. The only reason we came back here is for Scott's mom. Or we would have gone on to somewhere else already. All right, next is stencils. So I get to use more stencils. Number 9 is stencils. Or a stencil. You don't have to use multiple ones. I'm going to dry this because I don't want to fudge my lines when I do the yeah, that's how we felt, but she didn't even get out of her vehicle to leave the notice, and she said we had 72 hours to store it properly or get it off the property. Our property that we pay is paid off. So, yeah. The good news is he's working on it again. So maybe that's a positive on the whole thing. Dry a little bit on the back. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up early and go out in the yard. I can't work in direct sun, so I need to get up at our regular 5 o'clock time. And as soon as the sun's up enough that I can see outside, that's when I need to be in the yard, and then come in by about 8 o'clock. So if I work from like 6 to 8, that's 2 hours each morning I can work in the yard and then get back in here, because it's just, there's one of my medications that makes me really susceptible to the sun. So yeah, it's in our driveway. It's not in the grass. And usually Scott's car is parked in front of it. The trash cans, I had been storing the trash cans behind the car, so the car wasn't even all that visible. So yeah. Don't get me going. No. Number 10. Green. That's all it says. So, however, oh, you know what? I didn't do the stencils. So I got to do the stencils first, and then number 10 will be green. I skipped it. Why'd y'all let me do that? Jeez. What kind of people are you? Just let me go off all willy-nilly. Green. No, stencil first. Stencil first. Well, I'll use this. It's almost dried up. And then we'll just grab a random stencil out of here. And my neighbor is working in his yard. I went and got the ham from Easter from my mother-in-law. And I made ham salad sandwiches, which I posted the link to that on Facebook, I think, for Scott's ham salad recipe, which is very good. So I think it was one of our neighbors turned us in, is what I think. I need to do trimming on bush. There's just so much I need to do outside in the yard. But again, I'll have to do it in the early mornings. I can't be out there after the sun's up. It's just too blooming hot. It's only going to get worse now that summer's here. Summer's here in the Midlands of South Carolina. Let's put a little of this up here. Got a little bit of my purple involved. Maybe a little bit here. And then I got a goober on the plate here, so we'll scoop that up. And then let's decorate over top of our paint spot here. And then I can use my drop paper as card fodder later. Oh my goodness. Good enough. I've never done that, Teresa. Ham dressing. I did ham salad for sandwiches, and then I also made the split pea soup. I think the guys are starting to get hungry. That's why I cooked, so they could just help themselves when they got hungry. I'm probably going to need to cook again. I'm not doing barbecue today. Sorry. Hi, Riri. You're the boss of your life. Thanks, Janice. Oh, I'm going to put them, Riri, I'm going to put them in the description box if you want to grab them later. Would it be cheating if you did 2 prompts in one? No, not at all. Just do whatever you want. There's no rules. It's just playtime. So if you want to combine green with your stencil, you can do that or whatever. So I did the stencils. So now I have to do the green. And I might just grab a green and hand paint some random leafage on here. That could be interesting. So I need a green. Oh, let's do a spring green. That's what I had Mary do last night. Spring green. And I'll just use one of these. This is actually called Brilliant Yellow Green. And I'm shaking it like it's a bottle and not a tube of paint. So I'm going to sit down and paint some leaves and look at chat real quick. Yep, it's just going to be a background. I'm going to cut mine up and make ATCs. It's hard for me to see sitting down. Maybe I'll have to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. And I stuck my arm in paint. I'm going to turn this so I can fix these. There we go. That's better. I just learned that the zoo has reopened the aquarium. They had closed it down to redo it. It hadn't been done in probably 20 years, a redo. So I told my sisters, I said, we could do lunch at the zoo one day, and I have guest passes. So I could cover y'all's costs to get in. And they have, a restaurant there at the zoo. It's just fast food. Or we could go to lunch somewhere else nearby and then go to the zoo, which I thought would be fun. Okay, Teresa. Yeah, check your blood pressure. You got to pay attention to that when it becomes a problem, that's for sure. I'm horrible about checking my sugar. I need to get back to watching it, and I need to get more exercise, but I get in these moods like, why bother? I don't know why I get like that, but sometimes I do. Things like diabetes and that is, you can really make a big difference for yourself by just eating right and getting some exercise, but you'd have to know my whole history as to why I don't sometimes basically give a rat's patoot about how long I live. But that would be a very long story that we don't need to talk about here. I had the best loaded potato soup yesterday at East Bay Delicatessen. It was very good. And then last night, Scott and I went to Monterey's for Mexican food. I like to go to the zoo too, but I just don't want to always go by myself. And that's usually what happens because Scott and Greg don't care about going to the zoo too much. My favorite part is the aquarium, so I'm tickled that it's back open. I could go and sit at the aquarium every day, just watch the fish going around. So the prompt for this was just green, so you can make it any green you want. Trying a new birdseed mix in the bird feeder that Scott got me for my birthday. And I don't know if it's going to work because I think there's too many small seeds in it and they're falling out. They're just falling out. So I might not buy it again. Because some of those little seeds I don't like because they put just a heavy seed load in one spot and then it's all this like ryegrass comes up. And I'd rather have my centipede grass. We checked out a yard sale that was down at the pool today. It was just, stuff I already have too much of. It wasn't really, it didn't even have any real art supplies this time. It was just glassware and, knick-knack type stuff that I don't really truly need any more of. So we went on and got a breakfast sandwich and came back. If you freeze the seed, they won't sprout. I'm excited about the sunflower seeds growing because I know how pretty those are. I'm not too keen on those little seeds. I don't usually it's just sunflower seeds because I don't like the mixes because they waste more of it than anything else. I'm really leaning toward going and grabbing another green and going around this again with a different shade of green and kind of mix them together. Hang on just a sec. Let's do that. Just to give it a little dimension. And this is deep green. So maybe if I pick up a little of the light green and a little of the deep green, we'll get a really cool green. And I'm going to chop this up for ATCs. So, yeah. Yeah, go eat, Teresa. Don't wait. I need to get back to walking 4 miles a day like I used to. The whole perimeter of our neighborhood is exactly 4 miles. So if I walk all the way around the neighborhood, it's 4 miles. But it's really changed a lot here. So I'm not comfortable with doing that anymore because people let too many large dogs run loose. So I'm a little leery of doing that by myself. So these will get all chopped up. Hi, Dawn. You started my new regime and wound up with a pacemaker, but now I'm walking and changed my diet back to what it was. Ooh. Cool. That's true. We have a couple old malls that there's shops in them, but they're not really active malls anymore. So, and the mall that is an active mall is out where I used to work, and I don't want to drive there every day. Oh, I didn't think. Oh, I know what I'm hitting. I'm hitting that fiber paste I put down. That's why it's not wanting to go even. Just gonna spin that all together and make a mess. The Mall Walking Club. Probably going to end up needing to heat gun alert just to get this to where we can go on to the next prompt. Because Becky's making a mess. Let's put one more over here. If I can scoop up enough paint to get a couple more over now. Howard, quit opening the kitchen cabinets. He's probably thinking, you can't tell me what to do. Or maybe that was Scott. And I thought it was Howard. Howard's going, it wasn't me. All right, I've added green. Keep in mind, I'm going to chop this up. We got 2 prompts left to have our 12, what I call a dirty dozen, because I always end up with filthy. Here we go. Add scribbles. Well, I've got to add doodles. Add scribbles. Add gaskets. Did you find some gaskets, shellac, that'll work? Oh. I'm going to save the scribbles to go with my doodles. And then I'm going to pick another one because I'm cheating. I'm not doing that one. Wild card. We'll do wild card. Wild card will be our last one. And then I'll chop them up and we'll add, well, actually, I'll do the scribbles. I'll save the doodles until I've made these into artist trading cards. And then I'll do my doodling on the finished project. But let's see, we need to add a wild card and some scribbles to this. So I need to dry this first. So heat gun alert. Great. I mean, Scott always laughs when Mary says that. This is heat gun alert in the background. I was like, well, she wants us to know so we don't get our ears all blasted when the heat gun coming on. So what should we do? Let's see. Oh, I know what I'm going to do for my wild card. I have a bunch of just little colored strips of paper. I'm going to glue them down. And then I can chop it up. There we go. I'm not going to use all these that I just pulled up. I'm going to use some of them. So the first thing I want to do is the scribbling. And then I'm going to glue those strips down. And then I'm going to chop it up into artist trading cards. So let me get something to scribble with. Scribbles with a Sharpie. Literal scribbles. Good enough. And now I'll glue those others down. Let's see. I'm going to use different colors. Are these all different colors? I might have some duplicates. I'm not going to use all of them anyway. You were back reading. Well, I gained a lot of weight when I was pregnant and I never lost it. And that was 36 years ago. So I'm still carrying pregnancy weight. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. And I tell my son all the time, this is your fault. No, I don't. Whoa. Scott came in for a break out of the sun and get him a snack on. What time is it? Oh, yeah, he's probably hungry. It's 5 o'clock. Yep, that's going to stick. Stop dripping. If some of these start peeling off here in a little bit, I'll just cut them shorter. Well, you're just making a mess. Stop it. So I scribbled. This is the wild card. And then I need to do my doodling after I put this down. I wish this thing would quit oozing. Can't get it to start, and then it won't stop. Ugh. Cat fur. I wasn't going to use all these, but I think I will end up doing just that. Just to use them up. Might just as well. Oh, there it goes again. I'll look at chat here in a minute when I quit gluing my fingers to the paper. All right, you're going to have to be closed because you're using too much glue. I'm not going to put that brown on there. All right. So these are just artist trading card backgrounds. Here we go. Okay. We'll see if it stays stuck. The cats have just noticed Scott closed the door so he could listen to his computer in the other room. And they're like, oh, we'll have none of that. No closed doors. How can we know what you're doing if you close the doors? All right, so all I got left is doodling, but you know, I might add focal images and that kind of thing, but I want to dry this and chop it up before I sign off. So let me heat gun alert you. That's not glued right there. I might just cut that free when I get them divided up. So I've wrote the prompts here, and when I sign off, I'll put them in the description box. I didn't even mess my back up too bad here this time. 2.5 by 3.5, and this is 9 by 12. So I'm going to trim them this way first. I guess what I need to do first is cut these off this side so they're not sticking out off the edges. And I'll save that, and I can add it to something if I need to. So I'm going to stick this through here, and I'll cut this at 3.5 first, this way. Greg got his hair cut and his beard trimmed up, so he looks right nice right now. 3.5. Callie, stop, honey. See, that can be saved and used for card making. And then 2.5 this way. Two and a half. Callie, stop, honey. She looked at Scott like, why did you close that door? So I've got extra pieces. I could probably get more out of this if I paid attention to what I'm, do the math, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to, I'll have 9 of these. All right. So I could save the doodling to the very last thing and, put a border on it with a doodle and that kind of thing. I was wondering what this background would look like if I used some napkins and glued them on top over this colorful background to make some ATCs. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, just like I thought I was going to have. So I'm going to look and see what I've got here. Hang on. I don't think we want to put reindeers on them. I'm looking in my bin of stuff. I thought I had some tissue paper laying around that would look cool over top of it, but maybe I don't. All I'm finding right now is the reindeers. I don't really want reindeers on them. I'm going to have to go in search of some stuff. So this is the background that we got together to make anyway. So I think I'm going to see if I can find, I think I have this tissue paper that looks like book paper that you can see through, or maybe some Tim Holtz paper. I wonder where that Tim Holtz paper is. It was in a box. I'm trying to think of what I did with it. That would be cool if I could just put that over top and then add a quote and then do my doodles on it. Think. All right. Well, do your ATCs, or if you're going to make postcards, finish them out any way you want. When I get these done, I'll put a picture in my community tab. But I need to go cook now. So. Yeah, I could do that too, pattern tissue paper. That would kind of knock everything back. Plus, it would seal the pieces. And I was thinking on some of these that don't have very much of the colored papers, I could add more colored paper if I wanted to. I keep thinking, I'm going to go. And then I think, I get to thinking, Callie, please stop. Callie. Okay, get up there. So like this, what if I put some of this over top of these? And see, that would knock it to the back, and then I could add a piece of book paper, and this would be in the background. See, that's what I was thinking. But I've got other tissue papers here. Or I could take this stuff, so it's not so shiny, and that's in the same green. And maybe just put pieces of this on it. I don't think I have enough for all 9 of them. Or maybe cut some leaves out of this tissue paper and put them on top. And then put a spring greeting on it. So that's kind of my idea. I've got yellow paper too I could use. Yellow tissue paper. Oh, here's some more green, but this has some sparkles on it. That could be interesting. So I think I'm going to play with this green tissue paper and then do my doodles and add a quote. I have some quotes that I've got, and those are on my community tab. So this will be see-through when it's done. You'll still be able to see some of the stuff in the background. That's why I'm leaning toward more of maybe cutting out some leaf shapes. I don't think these scissors will cut. I can't stop playing. What's wrong with me? Callie, you just came through that door. Stop. So like this, and then glue that on there. I don't know. I'm going to play. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good evening. I'm going to have to go before the cat tears the door apart. Take care. Good night.